Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Elegant Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the show. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson in charge of things on the other side of the glass this morning. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. We do the show from the Jarrett Construction Studios right on time, right on budget. Visit jarrett-construction.com. Phone calls to the show a service of Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly on Spring Street. Texting service provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Taylor, Virginia Street, Charleston. Get ready for the Mountaineers. Tony's fresh selection. He's got them of WVU Johnny O polos, quarter zip sweatshirts, rainwear, button-ups, and more. Plus, he's got a whole series of trunk shows planned for this fall. Complete list available at the website bestmastertaylor.com, or check out Tony's Facebook page if you need more information. Wednesday edition of the show, lots to get to. This morning, of course, the tributes are continuing for former Supreme Court Justice and legislator Tim Armstead. That story breaking yesterday afternoon. Passed away at the age of 60. We got plenty of coverage on the website. We'll have plenty of coverage coming up a little bit later on in this show, and also on Metro News Midday later today. Also, we've been spending some time talking about the expanding real estate market in the area, in the Kanawha Valley, specifically in Putnam County. Yesterday, had a conversation with the folks at Meeks Rentals and Leasing about some things that they've got going on. Of course, on Monday's show, we talked to Morgan Tenney from the Putnam County Development Authority about the 400 and some new houses that are going to be going in the hurricane area. Not to be outdone, the land of the generals, Winfield, has got some exciting things going on, too. We'll talk to Mayor Randy Barrett about that coming up a little bit later on, plus several other things to get to in the news. And as always, your calls and texts. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. As we do a couple of times a month, so let's welcome in our good friend Dr. Casey Sachs of BridgeValley. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave. It's great to be with you today.
Great to have you here. We're going to get some caught up on some things going on at BridgeValley, but before we do that, Dr. Sachs, I thought I would give you an opportunity to say something about the passing of Supreme Court Justice Tim Armstead. I know that
his poor family. He was such a nice man.
Yeah, go ahead and just tell us your recollections.
He was such a nice man. The last time I saw him was at the Habitat for Humanity making a donation, and just such a nice guy. It's really a loss for the community. It is indeed. And I'm going to get into this a little bit later on in the show, but I will say this about Tim Armstead. Even people who may have been on different sides of the political aisle from him, never heard anybody say a bad word about him as a person, even his political quote-unquote enemies. And I don't even like to use the term enemies. And let me just say people that have a different thought process than he did. I never heard anybody say anything bad about him. He took the time to work with one of my exchange students several years ago. She'll really be sad, too. She lives in Germany now. And he was so nice to her one year at the business summit and really took the time to talk to her about law. And she is in accountancy law now in Germany. And it really made such a difference in her life. That's a great story. I mean, it really is. And again, these stories continue to come in. And we talk to elected officials and things of that nature. We're going to continue to do that. I know the guys they're actually at the business summit today, Wilson and Meadows. They'll talk about it down there. Amanda and I will talk about it on midday today. But it's the stories like that about Tim Armstead, to be honest with you, Dr. Sachs, that really touch me a little bit more. You know, somebody that 99.9% of the population doesn't even know, but he went out of his way to go help that person. Oh, it's such a loss for the community. It is indeed, in the entire state of West Virginia. All right, so we talk about all the time BridgeValley's relationship with area businesses, answering the call for what employers need and working with them, Dr. Sachs, to provide the skill sets that they need to hire people.
You're now in the insurance business, so to speak.
We are. So our local insurance companies have said they needed a little bit of training, and so we've started ramping that up, and we'll actually have the first property and casualty insurance course. It's been at the request of local insurance agencies. And apparently there's a licensure required, and they need preparation for the state licensure exam. So on September 9th, we'll have our first cohort go through property and casualty insurance pre-licensure. We're pretty excited about it.
I was going to say that sounds exciting. I'm not making fun of it. It's something that I get some really good friends in the insurance business. You're right, Dr. Sachs. It is something that is sorely needed.
It really is. And actually, I looked it up for you. Insurance sales agents, the employment for those are expected to grow 6% over the next few years. So it's a good growth area. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. And we'll give you, as we close out the segment, as we always do, we'll give you the contact information, the website and whatever, so you can look up everything else going on at BridgeValley as well. I was reading the other day some information about the college's STAND program. Explain what that is and how it works. What is the STAND program and how does it work?
So STAND is actually statewide. It stands for Skilled Trades Apprenticeships Non-Traditional Degree.
Okay.
So STAND is an acronym. And it's to help people who have completed apprenticeships in any number of areas. You might be a plumber, and now you're ready to complete a degree so that you can advance your career. And so STAND actually helps you do that by providing a state financial aid fund so that you can finish out probably about 15 credit hours and complete that associate's degree.
And that's a really exciting thing. As you said, this is a statewide program, not a college program, but you guys are involved in this thing's going on across the Mountain State, and there's a lot of buzz about it.
It's really great, and it's at all of the community colleges.
Yeah.
We really want to help promote people who have had those apprenticeships, who have done those registered programs. They're really great in the skilled trades, but they might be at the point where they're ready to be in management or to move up. And sometimes you need a degree for that. So we're trying to make it easier. Talking to Dr. Casey Sachs of BridgeValley. It's 9:14. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Their services involve developing comprehensive management plans to outline strategies for controlling and minimizing asbestos exposure. Perfect for commercial property owners and managers. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. I want to talk a little bit about the role of community and technical colleges in the state of West Virginia. You and I have talked. We've been having you on the show for the last couple of years, pretty much ever since you arrived here, and we talk a lot about now, especially at this time of year. The kids are heading back to public school. Most of them, not if they haven't already, they will soon. Certainly, they have here in the Kanawha Valley, and students heading back to the larger university. But there is such a role, Dr. Sachs, for community and technical college, trade schools, whatever you want to call them, in our society right now. There really is. There really is. I was at a Rotary meeting this week, and I had a mom tell me how much money we saved her family and how great this was, and that her daughter then transferred to Marshall, and that she just appreciated what BridgeValley was able to do for their family. And that kind of story, when people stop me in the community, makes me so happy, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make college a lot more accessible for people. And, back years ago, well over 30 years ago, I guess now, when I was in college, it was actually, probably closer to 40, but who's counting? There was, if you went to a community college, which I did, I went to Southern West Virginia Community Technical College and transferred to Marshall. That's what you did. You went to a community college, went to a trade school, whatever you want to call it, and then you transferred to somewhere else. And that's all well and good, and your students still do that. However, you got a lot of programs that are available that people don't have to go anywhere else. That's their stop. It's true, and we actually really pride ourselves in that. It's something that's been very fun for us to think through what's the labor market need and what are businesses really saying they need in the area, and how do we help meet that with folks who can earn an associate's degree. So when you think about things like a registered nurse, that's a 2-year RN program, and it's a really great job in our community. And we all know about the need for nurses. I mean, not only here in West Virginia, Dr. Sachs, but nationwide. Absolutely. And I understand you wanted to spotlight one particular person. You gave me a name via text, to Caitlin Rains, and the Harmony Senior Services Scholarship. Talk about that. We're really proud of Caitlin. So Harmony Senior Services has made a great commitment to our students. They have donated $100,000 so that every year 10 students get a $1,000 scholarship to really help support them. And now For Caitlin, that's meant that she can focus on her studies and prepare for her NCLEX. The NCLEX is the state licensure exam in nursing, instead of having to juggle full-time school and full-time work. She's talked about how grateful she is for Harmony Senior Services support, and it's just one of those really feel-good stories in the community.
We need more feel-good stories, for sure. Talking to Dr. Casey Sachs of BridgeValley. Before we let you go, what else is going on up there on the hill?
Gosh. Well, school just started, so we've been really busy with back to school and trying to welcome students both in South Charleston and in Montgomery. And we're just excited. Enrollment's been up every year. We're up another 5% this year, and we're really proud of folks who have decided to change their lives and come back.
We love to hear that the enrollment's up. Hey, Dr. Sachs, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and we'll talk again soon. Give us the information. Give us the website. People can learn more about anything we talked about today or any of the fabulous things going on at BridgeValley.
It's all at bridgevalley.edu.
All right, Dr. Casey Sachs. We'll talk again next month. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Dr. Casey Sachs of BridgeValley. It is 9:18. And again, I love the stories when we talk to Dr. Sachs about that, because, again, years ago, it was always, well, you're going to go to this particular college and then you're going to transfer somewhere else. And people still do that all the time, be it Marshall, WVU, State, whatever, that people still do that. However, there's a lot of programs available at these colleges that you ain't got to go nowhere else. You just simply go there and get your degree and then go to work. And the relationships that BridgeValley has got with these employers, we talk about what they've done with Toyota and these other places. I mean, you're ready to go. It's just a matter sometimes of where do you want to work, what shift do you want to work, because your job is waiting on you. And trust me, it hasn't always been that way. Bigley, Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Meeks Rentals and Leasing, comprehensive property management services, including marketing, tenant screening, maintenance, and rent collection. Visit meeksrentals.com if you need more information on that. We'll take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk to Mayor Randy Barrett of Winfield. When we come back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Have you been injured in a trucking incident?
Call today, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia. ForThePeople.com.
I'm John Carruthers, the owner of Best Virginia Heating and Cooling. I'm born and raised right here in West Virginia. I've got 3 daughters, so I absolutely care who comes into my home. Every technician we send to your home has been drug tested and background checked. I guarantee the best client experience or your money back. We have the best team and the best processes built around a 5-star experience. Call Best Virginia today at 681-655-1214.
The Husson's August Special is a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a big 8-inch chocolate chip cookie for just $23.99. Visit your nearest Husson's for dine-in, pickup, or delivery. Order now at HussonsPizza.com.
Your Putnam County Assessor's Office is mandated to ensure your real estate is evaluated properly and fairly. This year, their field personnel will be in the Buffalo, Eleanor, Hometown, Bancroft, Poca, Nitro, and Union districts to revisit homeowners. Plus, new construction in the county will be assessed. They will be in marked vehicles and will have photo ID and business cards. If you have any questions about this process, visit their website at PutnamCOAssessor.com. That's PutnamCOAssessor.com.
Welcome back to the show. It's 9:21. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson in charge of things this morning. Bigley, Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. If you're injured, visit ForThePeople.com. I want to welcome to the show now the mayor of Winfield and Putnam County, Randy Barrett. Mayor Barrett, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing fine. Thanks for being here. And as I did with Dr. Casey Sachs in the last segment, Mayor, I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about Supreme Court Justice, former legislator Tim Armstead, who we lost yesterday.
Well, I've only met Tim a couple times, but when I met him, he was so, I want to say, humble up there for even the positions he had. You would have never known that the clout he had and stuff in there. His demeanor was made everybody feel very welcome, even to the people who didn't know him very well. So that goes a long ways with people in a position like that, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. And again, he was a person that just everybody liked and everybody respected. And of course, he'd been sick, and still we knew he'd been sick, but it was shocking news when Jeff came downstairs yesterday in the middle of Metro News Midday and said that Tim Armstead had passed, and he was 60 years old. He was behind a wonderful wife and family, and a whole host of friends. You're going to be hearing a whole lot more about the legacy of Tim Armstead over the next several days for sure. Mayor, we spent some time on several shows talking about the incredible growth in Putnam County. Late last week came the announcement of 200 plus homes to the hurricane area. We talked to Morgan Tenney from the Development Authority about that. Then on yesterday's show, similar things with Thor Meeks of Meeks Rentals and Leasing. But I know, not to be outdone in the land of the generals, you got some exciting things going on there in Winfield too. Hey, Mayor, I need you to do me a favor, if you would. I don't know what you're listening to in the background, if you're listening to me or whatever, because I know you're my number one fan. But I'm going to need you to turn it down a little bit. We're getting a little feedback.
I don't have nothing playing, Dave. I got you completely on mute.
Okay, something's all right. Maybe on our end. I thought you were going to say I don't have anything on. I was going to say, no, Mayor, don't say that. Do not say that. But go ahead. Tell us about what's going on in Winfield.
Well, we've got a brand new development starting. River Bend duplexes. They have 61 units. That's 3-bedroom, 1,400 square feet, and right there across from Dairy Freeze. I know you know where Belva's at.
Oh yeah,
and that's close to the high school. And we've had some people complain. Well, the traffic stuff, yeah, it's going to cost up there, but you get 61 places in there. You get 61, 120 some people plus. It's going to 2 cars. It'll cost up there, but that's a great problem to have. It's an $8 million project, and they've got some foundation poured. They're still putting in utilities, but it's. I'm hoping by next spring he'll be able to rent those. But and he's a local guy, family guy right here. I think he's 30 years old, and he's doing that. Great guy. And then down here on the other end of town, we got Jordan Place. They got 38 townhomes. They're selling from $250,000 to almost $500,000. Yesterday, someone talked to, or is anybody there in Hurricane going to be able to afford those places they're building? Yeah, because they're doing them over here. They have them. People's buying them. And people's waiting on them. Nucor was waiting on 3 of them up there to get the COs on so they can move into them. And Nucor's done the same thing over at 304. They buy some of them and they just bring in their big shots. And now Nucor's been great for Winfield and Hurricane.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And the thing about it is these developers, Mayor, wouldn't be building these things just on a chance. I mean, there's a market for them, or they wouldn't be building them to begin with. I mean, these guys aren't dummies. I mean, they do their market research, and they obviously have seen a need for this. That's why they got the plans out and started building them.
Yes, we got 3 other developers that's come into town, and they're either building, one development's 15 homes, the other one's 18, and the other one's 30 or 20 some duplexes that they're going to sell. But none of them is, they haven't got started yet for one reason or another, and so maybe they're letting these other ones get ready, then they'll be next to sell. And that's a good problem to have up there, that our traffic, and everybody knows, you don't come to Winfield at 8 o'clock in the morning or 3:30 in the afternoon. Our schools has got everything packed in here, which is a good problem to have. But we'll grow in Winfield and Putnam County.
Talking again with Mayor Randy Barrett of Winfield. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Husson's Pizza. This month at your favorite Husson's, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a big 8-inch chocolate chip cookie for $23.99. Dine in, carry out, or order delivery. Find your closest Husson's at HussonsPizza.com. And, let's talk about the whole development of Putnam County, because you've been around a while. And you know what Putnam County was like in the, let's say, 1990s when it really exploded. And then I don't want to say that they had any struggles, but I mean, it just kind of leveled off, as to be expected. And now it's all coming back again. I mean, from what I wasn't there in the 1990s, but from what I've been told, this is like 1995 or whatever the year was on steroids.
Oh, yeah, it's just that the Valley Road is exploded. And then, I was here when they built the new 35 up there, and people said, well, that'll knock people up from coming through Winfield, that red light. That's been the best thing to happen to Winfield, because you really couldn't get here at certain times of the evening because traffic was so bad. Now, if you want to get to Winfield from the Valley, you can. So we've grown. The whole county has grown so much, and I've been here a lot longer than the 90s up there. I can remember my dad back in probably the early 70s. I think the Valley Park, where the Hurricane City Park, that whole place, I think it was up for sale up for like $16,000. Can you imagine what investment? But that was a lot of money back then.
Sure, yeah.
But in development, I got to give them a soapbox here a minute. Mm-hmm. We got a guy, a local contractor here, building two other businesses down here in Winfield, and the DOH is holding them up because of the red light. And they were the Go Mart was supposed to broke ground last month. Now DOH saying it's probably next spring before they even get the red light in. Some of our state agencies are killing growth in the state. I mean, not just in Putnam County, and the red tape of some of these places really have to be looked at, what they got to do, but it's holding up development. We need businesses. When you hold up development, sidewalks, red lights business, you're hurting the whole state up there. So something has to be done with some of these agencies that hold up growth in our state.
Well, I mean, what can be done? I mean, I know you're very heavily involved in the Municipal League, and Mayor Goodwin here in Charleston is the new head of the Municipal League, and I'm sure you guys are always on one page when it comes to these things. What can be done? I mean, what needs to who does the message need to get to, Mayor?
Well, I talked to one of my senators here local last year about it, and I said, well, I hear rumors that maybe y'all going to start the state is going to start contracting out engineers firms to do some of this prelim stuff in there to speed things up. And he said, yeah, but he said, it's so expensive. I said, time is money. I said, I got a grant that was almost worth $500,000 10 years ago, and now that same thing is only worth $200,000. So time is money. So you pay me now, pay me later up there. When you hold up projects for a decade, and this one here for another year, that they were ready to break ground last month, time is money. Something has to be, the new Morrissey's working on PEIA and stuff. I think next on the list is helping DOH out to get out of its own way. Up there, the whole state needs help on, roads and stuff in there, and DOH needs help. And I'm not sure all the answers, but maybe starting off with some engineering out to some of these. We got a lot of good engineering companies all up and down the state. I think the state needs to spend a little money to make a little money.
Talking to Mayor Randy Barrett of Winfield, I'm going to go back. You mentioned a Go Mart. Is this a new Go Mart that the area is getting?
Yes, up there, if they don't back out, if they're going to have to wait another year, they're at the red light, and there's another business.
For people that aren't familiar, Mayor, which red light are we talking about?
Well, if you're not familiar with Winfield, there's only one here.
I knew that, and you knew that, but I wanted to have you explain it to people that maybe don't know that. Where is it?
It's a three-way there at Wendy's and Giovanni's.
Yes.
And they are wanting to put a four-way in there so you can go straight across. If you've been to the new Taco Bell, it's very dangerous getting out of there if you come back to Winfield taking a left. But so they're going to put a red light in there, take the guardrail out. You'd be straight into the Go Mart. It'll have its own little street there along the three businesses, and there's another business down there. It's going to go in after Go Mart if they don't back out because of the time. I mean, businesses get a model. I'm ready to do this. No, I'm going to go someplace else. I'm not waiting a year, and you can't blame them. And those contractors have jumped every hoop that they can jump to make this project happen. And now they're wanting a bunch of money for them to put the red light into. I don't understand it all, but I get aggravated when you're holding up progress.
Well, if anybody can get it done to cut through the red tape, it'd be Mayor Barrett of Winfield. What's your big selling point for the area? This is a question I asked when I did, and you were on the Mayor Monday segment on Metro News Midday a month or so ago. But one of the things I always ask every mayor is, what is your big selling point for your town? I mean, people are listening to us right now here in the Kanawha Valley, and maybe they're not happy with the area that they live in, or whatever the case may be. What is your big selling point for Winfield when you try to get people to move in?
It's hard not to start with the schools up there. I mean, we got 3 schools up here that are top notch in the state, but then it's the safety of our little community here. And we got, we do have the city police, we got state police up on the hill, we got counties. We're very, very safe, and the amount of law enforcement that actually live in this town, because they've dealt with that all day. And they know if they come here, they can relax and they can enjoy their evenings, because they've done that all. We are a very safe community. We all have our problems up in there, but Winfield is a safe little bedroom. We always need some more things, and I wish we could get more things and up there, but we're safe, and our schools are second to none, and that's why all these nuclear people are coming this way, because these young people, I want to put my kids in a good school, and that's why they're coming here, because of schools, and then their parents or they come because they want to be with their grandkids.
Right.
And I see it every day.
What are we going to do with that the former location of Fruth there in the little plaza there, Mayor?
The former, as far as I know, Fruth is still open there.
I thought they were leaving. Okay, Lynn Fruth, I apologize. I thought I had heard that they were. Okay, I apologize for that. I am very,
you may
very
have up there. They did add a little doctor's office or something.
Okay. I stand corrected then. All right, I want to give you an opportunity to plug your upcoming Putnam County Homecoming. That's coming up here real soon. Talk about it.
Yes, the 13th and 14th up there. I've been calling DOH to get the signs to let them know, it is a controversy when you close. We got a parade from 1:30 to 3 up there, close 8:17 down, and anybody can sign up right up to the event on Sunday. They will be crowning the Queen Sunday, 4:30 of all 4 schools in the county. We got bands playing Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. Church service has grown unbelievable in the Sunday mornings, 3 or 4 churches together, and that is really up there. They brought some pastors in, or all 3 or 4 of the pastors local will preach. It's really that's really growing, and that's really a good message there on Sunday morning. So
all right,
it's growing. It'll never be the 10,000 people it used to be, or 5,000 people.
Well, if you keep up like you are now, it's going to be, Mayor. I mean, let's don't be too pessimistic. If you keep moving all these people into Putnam County and not only Hurricane, what you talked about, Winfield, it will be there, because you're well on your way, my friend.
Well, it's not for the lack of trying. We do work at it.
All right. Mayor Barrett, we'll talk again soon, buddy. Thanks a lot, and keep doing good things over there.
Thank you.
All right, Mayor Randy Barrett of Winfield. 25 minutes now in front of 10 o'clock. Rest of the show is yours. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly. Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Generations Physical Therapy, offering concussion care, pre- and post-operative rehab, fall prevention, water therapy, women's health, workers' comp care, and more. And they are the experts in treating neck and back pain. If you need an appointment, 304-760-5660 or visit generationspt.com. We'll take a break. Coming back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
Ready for college but not sure about the next steps? At BridgeValley, you can start building your future while earning stackable credentials. Whether it's business, healthcare administration, or accounting, take courses that work for you, online or on campus, and build your career one step at a time. Work, study, and stack those credits toward your degree. Get certifications like QuickBooks, Lean Six Sigma, and more. And you may be eligible to go tuition-free with West Virginia Invests. BridgeValley, stackable credentials, flexible education. Start today.
With the right support and care, a seed can grow into a resilient plant. Recovery takes patience, intention, and a willingness to listen. Every path is different, and every story of substance use is an opportunity for transformation. When it comes to growing and restoring our communities, we need everyone to break through addiction. Learn more at backtolifewv.org.
It's time to transform your home with the perfect blend of style and function. From cozy carpet, stunning hardwoods, to custom, handcrafted cabinets, Nitro Carpet and Design Center has it all. Whether it's a kitchen revamp or a bathroom facelift, our expert design team will guide you every step of the way. Financing available. Visit us right off the interstate at New Goff Mountain Road in Cross Lanes. Nitro Carpet and Design Center, where your dream home becomes reality. Explore more at nitrocarpet.com.
Welcome back to the show. 23 minutes away from 10. Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony V. Taylor text 304-935-5008. Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Birds continue their long road trip. They're at High Point this week. They're back at Gomart Ballpark, though, Friday night, getting ready for Labor Day weekend with a series against Gastonia. For tickets, merchandise, promotions, and more, visit dirtybirdsbaseball.com. Metro News Midday with 13 News. And tonight, live anchor Amanda Barron and me coming up later today, powered by Salango Law. We'll continue with salutes to the late Tim Armstead. Also, a little happier news from the city of Buchanan. Some economic development news out of Bucktown, as the locals call it. We'll get into that. Plus, we'll do Open Line West Virginia. Metro News Midday with 13 News. And tonight, live anchor Amanda Barron and me coming up at noon today, powered by Salango Law. On this show tomorrow night, couldn't come soon enough for a lot of people, the opening night of high school football in West Virginia. We're going to discuss our coverage. Of course, we're going to have our game of the week, kind of going back to that format on WCHS, but we are also going to continue our coverage of Herbert Hoover football. Try to say that a couple times on their sister station, Superstar Country 96.1 KWS. So we're going to talk to all the parties involved on those games coming up on tomorrow's show, also on Friday's show as well. And of course, on the Metro News TV app, we've got the High School Kickoff Classic. That's on the Metro News TV app tomorrow night. If you haven't done so already, make sure you download the Metro News TV app. All right, make sure that you do that. And, of course, after the game on Friday night, stick around. Fred Persinger, Dave Jacklin, and the crew with the results from around the state of West Virginia on game night. And then, of course, on Saturday, we get ready for football. We got WVU Mountaineers, the return of Rich Rod as they take on Robert Morris, and my alma mater, the Marshall Thundering Herd, heading down to the Hedges at Sanford to take on the University of Georgia Bulldogs. Somebody asked me the other day, because they know I'm a huge Georgia Bulldog fan and have been ever since I was a kid. I was born in Georgia. Really no family ties to that area other than the fact that my father was stationed in the military there. But I became a Herschel Walker fan back when he was running wild over everybody in that 1980 season, and I've followed the Georgia Bulldogs ever since. And I got more Georgia Bulldog merchandise than anybody in West Virginia does, I can tell you that. And people ask me all the time, who are you cheering for? Well, it's got to be the Herd. I know they're 39-point underdogs in this game, but I'm a Marshall guy, so let's go Herd. Good luck to all the area teams. High school football is back, and college football is back. And next week, the pros will come back, and my Dallas Cowboys will begin their run to the Super Bowl next Thursday night, as they'll take on the Philadelphia Eagles, defending Super Bowl champions. Sorry to my good friend Jared Page, but the Cowboys are winning this game. Just telling you that. Text says, Dave, I finally have to admit that when Trump says he's going to do something, he does it. Example, cleaning up the streets of D.C. I'm reading stories and seeing pictures of guardsmen dressed in their camo with high visibility orange vest on, picking up trash around D.C. Trump is a man of his word. Promises made, promises kept, says a texter. Let me see here. Some other text to get to here. Okay, here it is. Putnam County, says the texter, is a great place to live. We just need roundabouts. Roundabouts will solve stop traffic caused by stoplights. Texter, I don't disagree, but I mean, in West Virginia, and I'm critical of my home state sometimes, we can't navigate a 3- and 4-way stop. Okay. we're not there yet on roundabouts. I'm 100% for them. It takes a little getting used to. People heard me talk about my trip I made a couple of weeks ago down to Georgia, and the town that we were in, it was all roundabouts. Everywhere you went on St. Simon's, it's all about the roundabouts. But I don't think we're there yet in West Virginia. I hope we get there at some point, but we got to navigate 3- and 4-way stops first. So more on the death of Tim Armstead. We learned about his passing yesterday at the age of 60, and the tributes are pouring as you may expect. Now, Brad McElhenney has the lead story about it at WVMetroNews.com. And you'll hear more about it later today during Metro News Midday. Of course, the Talk Line boys are live at the Greenbrier for the Business Summit. They'll be talking about it as well. And I will say this about Tim Armstead. I knew him. He was on the show. I can't say that I knew him well, but I was around him some during my time in state government and Republican politics. He was quite simply a good man. And a man, as I mentioned earlier, that you would be hard-pressed to find anyone who would say anything bad about, which is a rarity in the world of politics, particularly with the landscape of the political scene the last couple of years. Even people who may not have agreed with him respected him, mainly because of the way he treated people. He was just simply a decent human being. He was a godly man, very family-oriented man, built a life of public service. But here's the thing about Tim Armstead. Tim Armstead would have been that guy if he were working at the auto parts store or if he were making you a burger at Wendy's. He just was that good of a guy. And Brad has an in-depth story at the website. Again, more coverage on Talkline, which is live from the Greenbrier, and later today with Amanda and me on Metro News Midday. Text says, so the West Virginia National Guard is picking up trash around D.C. Let's not forget to mention the genius idea of putting a high visibility orange vest over top of camouflage. Brilliant. But more importantly, Governor Patrick Morrisey, wouldn't the West Virginia National Guard be better used to pick up trash around West Virginia instead of D.C.? Let me see here. I'm trying to get an answer to some questions. Okay, we're back to the roundabouts again. Morgantown has roundabouts installed all over the place in newer areas. They're not an issue at all. Well, I'm not against roundabouts at all. I am not against them. I'm just saying I don't know that West Virginia's there yet. Story broke late last night that a magistrate here in Kanawha County has resigned. John Luoni. There are allegations, important to remember, allegations only at this time of possible sexual harassment. Former Magistrate Luoni was contacted by media members here in Charleston, offered no comment, but said he may release a statement after speaking to his legal counsel. That's according to Eyewitness News' Leslie Rubin. We'll have more as the information becomes available. Two things that really don't mean a whole lot in the big picture of things, but had everyone talking yesterday. Uncle Herschel is back at Cracker Barrel. Our long national nightmare is over. The old Cracker Barrel logo is back, according to the company. I'll pause for a dramatic yawn here for a moment. You talk about first world problems, man. This is first world problems when we're arguing over the logo of a fast food establishment, and it is fast food. The fact that people got so upset over a logo change absolutely baffles me. And I've eaten at Cracker Barrel. As far as chains go, it's okay. I prefer to spend my money on local places, but that's just me. They do have good steak and eggs, and their chicken livers aren't bad. But when I first saw and read about this logo change, I thought, well, that's kind of a plain-looking logo, and I moved on. I didn't see it as some sort of a major corporate left-wing woke plot to undermine the very fabric of society. I saw it as a private company changing their logo. Nothing more, nothing less. But you can sleep better knowing now that it was a victory over wokeism or whatever. Uncle Herschel, the character in the logo, is back. In the meantime, more people were talking about Cracker Barrel over the last couple of days than had talked about Cracker Barrel in years. Advantage Cracker Barrel. It was a win for them. They got exactly what they wanted from this whole thing. And maybe I spent too much time in the wrestling business because I see everything as a work, as we call it in the business, including this. It was a work from the very beginning. But that's just me being old and cranky and hating everything. So go enjoy your sawmill gravy or whatever it's called and know that you were probably complicit. If you were one of the ones that took to social media or called your talk show, you were probably very complicit in this. A new one to me, a Mar-a-Lago face, says the texter. These are not human faces. They are luxury meat masks meant to signal wealth and in-group belonging. People such as Laura Loomer, Christy Noem, Matt Gaetz can afford excellent surgeons and subtle cosmetic work, but unless they're all had botched procedures, it seems they deliberately chose to look like AI-generated characters. Spot on from The Guardian, says the texter. Text says, Dave, are these new homes, Putnam County, likely to be bought by Nucor employees? Besides Nucor, I'm having trouble finding business around the area that would pay enough to afford a $300,000 home. Maybe you can help me out and name a few. Well, Toyota, I think would probably be one. CAMC, Vandalia Health, Marshall Health Network, just throwing it out there. There's $300,000 in today's economy is not a lot of money, and that's what homes are going for. And there's a whole lot of demand for them. If you think there's not a demand for $300,000 homes, you got another thing coming because there's a waiting list for them. Can we make a list as a texter of things West Virginia isn't there yet on? First two can be roundabouts and legal cannabis, says the texter. Yeah, I'm not getting into that argument. Waffle House is better than Cracker Barrel, says the texter. That's an opinion. Roundabouts are for commies, says the texter. And of course, the big story yesterday, but also broke, the news that crashed the internet, that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are getting married. I know. You care about this about as much as I do. But it was a big story, and it will be for some time. When the announcement came out, it got 14 million likes on Instagram in 1 hour. 1 hour, 14 million likes, and it crashed Instagram yesterday. And I've given my opinion on Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce in the past. I'm 55 years older. I will be, next month. I would think if I'm a 55-year-old guy and I'm a fan of Taylor Swift, that there's, I probably got other issues. I don't care. I don't care who marries who. I don't care. I respect Taylor Swift. I will say this because she writes her own music. She produces her own music. She owns her own music. She's a billionaire. She's the biggest star on the planet, has been for over 20 years. Name me another star that's been a constant star for 20 to 25 years, as Taylor Swift has been. There aren't any. I can tell you right now, there aren't any. Not my thing. I can't name a single song that she does. I don't, as Daniel Woods, our sports guy and news guy, and I were talking yesterday, people that are all upset about them cutting to scenes of Taylor Swift at NFL games. Okay, number one, it's brilliant on behalf of the NFL because you now got a different audience watching the games just to see Taylor Swift. And if you don't show Taylor Swift slurping all over Travis Kelce, what are you going to show? Some fat guy drinking Busch Light with his face painted, cheering on his team. So, yeah, more power to him. I don't care, but a lot of people do. Dave says a friend, or Dave says a texter. A friend and I were discussing why we have Second Amendment, and the reason is so we can have a regulated militia for defense against a tyranny government. So where are these gun owners and militias when feds put military on our streets? You're about to lose it all, according to, and also freedom, says the texter. Had a little hard time making that out. Why do you think West Virginians are so stupid, says the texter. I don't think West Virginians are stupid by any stretch of the imagination. I just think we're a little bit slow to change, myself included. I don't think that equates to stupidity. I just think that we don't like change in West Virginia. Bigley, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor, text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Live Healthy, West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. It's a podcast promoting healthier lifestyles in and beyond the state. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetronews.com, under the podcast menu. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
I'm Doug Leach, founder and CEO of Ascension Recovery Services. We've done a number of projects with Jarrett Construction. Finding people that really care about what they do and care about what we do is pretty unique. In Jarrett Construction, they care. They're really, really good people. Good people do the right thing, and they're very skilled. They have all the qualities that make up just a perfect construction partner, and they just build us a phenomenal building.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
You've worked hard. You've saved. Now it's time to make your money work for you without second-guessing every decision. I'm John Burdett with 4th Avenue Financial, and I help people retire with confidence and clarity. We'll create a personalized plan that fits your lifestyle, your goals, and your legacy. Retirement should feel like freedom, not fear. Visit 4thavenuefinancial.com. Let's get started today. 4th Avenue Financial, retirement done right.
Securities offered through Jenny McCole Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny McCole Advisors Incorporated.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-497-0593. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-497-0593. That's 800-497-0593. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Welcome back to the show. Coming up on this show tomorrow, as I mentioned, high school football gets underway tomorrow night around the state of West Virginia. We're going to spend some time talking to the people that will be calling some of the action that we'll be carrying here locally. Also, Tom Sussman is going to join us to talk about PEIA, and author Tara Roberts will be on the show as well. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. Text says, Cracker Barrel hasn't served chicken livers in years. That goes to show you how much I know about chain restaurants. With all due respect, I can remember eating chicken livers at Cracker Barrel at one point. But I don't, it's nothing against Cracker Barrel. They're fine. I just would rather support local businesses. Local, the ones that actually donate things back to the community. Now I'm going to get all the hate from all the Cracker Barrel people saying, well, they give this and they give, I'm sure they do. But at the end of the day, I just like to support local. And I do love good chicken livers, by the way. Text says, the addition of these homes in Putnam County, especially the single-story models, will help ease the shortage of options for residents in larger homes who are ready to downsize. In turn, this creates opportunities for growing families to move into those existing homes. Says a texter. Good point there. Text says, stoplights are anti-freedom. They force people to stop. Americans don't like to be forced to do anything. Replace the stoplights with roundabouts. Bring freedom to Putnam County. No more forced stopping. Freedom. And to be fair, says the texter, you did say West Virginians can't even handle a 3 to 4-way stop. That implies we're stupid. Then put me in there as one of the stupid West Virginians, okay? Put me in there, because I sometimes, if I'm traveling with my wife, I have to look over at my wife and go, okay, is it her turn or mine? So put me in there as well. Another thing I wanted to quickly address here as we close out the show, and this may be a little inside baseball, but just hear me out on this. Yesterday, there was a big day of news. I mean, Justice Armstead dying, coal mining death tragically in Boone County. Had a Kanawha County magistrate last night that resigned. Travis and Taylor getting engaged, so on and so forth. There was another story that broke yesterday, and what I'm going to talk about is not so much about the incident, but about the coverage of said event. Aaron Parker has the story at WVMetroNews.com. Former Marshall football star and longtime NFL player Chris Massey facing 4 misdemeanor charges after there was an altercation with his son's middle school assistant football coach. Now, this all happened in Winfield. The coach was an off-duty Putnam County Sheriff's deputy. Now, Chris Massey lives in Winfield and is an assistant coach, I understand, over there. And that's not so important in my mind as what happened, but more of the coverage and then the public reaction. Read that social media reaction to the event. Now, let me explain something to you. When you are in the news media, I don't do a lot of news. I report on news that other people gather, like Jeff Jenkins, okay? I just opine upon certain things. I help out a little bit as I can, but I'm not a newscaster. But when you're in the news media, we deal in official stuff. And when there is an incident, like there was with this incident, we only report the facts or the official police report, which is what we did in this case, as did other news outlets in the Charleston market. Once the story was out and we reported it, as did every other media outlet, people started running to defend either Massey or the off-duty deputy. Now, let me state for the record, I don't know either gentleman. I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. What I do know is what the news media has to go on is the official police report. So when you take to social media and you trash us or other media outlets, you really need to be trashing the police, because if you've got a problem with an official document, that's not on Metro News or WCHS. That's not on your local television station. That's the official police report. That's what we have to go on. We don't go and interview everybody and find out what happened. We get an official police report, and what we reported on was the official police report that came out of that day in Winfield. That's it. Nothing more or nothing less. And everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and everybody will get their day in court. But my point is, don't shoot the messenger when these things come out and trash us or trash one of the television stations or the newspaper or whatever. We go on official things, and that's the official police report. That's it. Texas Cracker Barrel learned the same lessons that Bud Light, Coke, and Target learned. If you change what your customers love about your product or establishment and to represent just to bend the knee to fascistic intimidations of woke wusses, then they will make their voices heard with their wallets not opening for you anymore. Once again, go woke, go broke. I think the entire thing was fake. Sorry. A lot of people work at chain restaurants. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. 100%. Texas never had chicken livers at Cracker Barrel, but I've had some of the best chicken livers ever in Logan County. Absolutely. Dang, says the texter, how nice it must be to think that $300,000 home is cheap. People aren't leaving no mortgages or low mortgages on a big house for high mortgages on a small house. Doesn't make financial sense at all. They are going to do, they're doing exactly that. That's what they're doing. And $300,000 homes in today's economy are not that expensive. I'm sorry. And I'm not going out and writing a check for $300,000, okay? I'm not exactly made of money either. I'm in the media, remember? All right, but it's not that expensive. Text says, I think WVRC Media does a fantastic job of bringing the info to the public. My most trusted source in West Virginia, according to a texter. All right. Gotta go. Interesting show, to say the least. Again, the Talkline boys are live at the Greenbrier for the Business Summit. I'll be back later today, Metro News Midday, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barrett and myself will continue the tributes to Tim Armstead, plus a lot more to get to on the show today as well. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson, thank you so much. I will see you on this show tomorrow. Till then, have fun. I love somebody.
WCHS AM, W243DRFM Charleston, and W283AQ Crosslanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.